Good afternoon. A warm welcome to the opening of the academic year of Erasmus University Rotterdam. My name is Desiree Hoving. I'm an independent chair of the day and I have a background in science journalism. And I'm very honored to open the program of the academic year 24-25 and to arrange the afternoon. Welcome. The members of the executive boards, the members of the supervisory board, welcome the education minister, the alderman, Fauzi Akbar of the municipality of Rotterdam, the Erasmus Trust Fund, all the professors, all the employees, all the teaching staff, lecturers, all the students, all the alumni, partner organizations, and other relations. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to everyone who is watching the live stream live from elsewhere. Welcome.
Available both live and online.
The topic for today is the art of connection, the art of connecting. If you are just like me, you think about putting plasters on wounds. No, but that's not the kind of connecting we mean. It's about holding hands, literally holding each other's hands. And I would like to ask you to do that, but no, well, let's not do that. But that's the idea behind it. So together we're connected all the time, and that is the goal for this year. But connecting, it doesn't happen automatically. It requires effort. It requires openness. It requires willingness to continue to learn all the time. It's an art. And it requires practice. Various speakers will show us the art of connecting this afternoon. Our keynote speaker is the Anglican priest, Mrs. Mpho, Tutu van Voort. And also, of course, the Minister of Education, Culture and Science, Eppo Bruins. And Simone Frederiksz, she's the member of the executive board of Albeda. So this is the vocational education institution. They will share their perspectives on the art of connecting. During this edition, we will also award prizes. So we will present prizes to the academic community who achieved something special. And the entire program, there's music by Huize Lucas. So in brief, it's a very dynamic and lively program, but it's also very full. So let's start quickly. I would like to invite our host for today on the stage, your new chair of the executive board, Annelien Bredenoord. Annelien, great to see you here on the stage. Yeah, it's good to be here. You're all dressed up in your robe because you have a dual role the next 2 months. I'm also, until the new rector starts, I will also take that position for 2 months. Congratulations on becoming the chair of the executive board. The art of connecting is today's topic. What is your connection with this topic? To me, connecting is about the sense of belonging. You feel that you belong, you are a member of a larger part, and in the context of the art of connecting, as a professor, as an employee, together, you start up unusual collaboration projects and make people feel at home, and also all the different fields within science, within the university and outside, that we are proactive in this and collaborate. Connecting is also actually a condition to make societal impact. How do you make sure that all these relationships, not just the people who are here today, but also outside today, in the future, that they will continue to have a relationship with this university? You said connecting is also actually a verb. It's something that requires hard work, and it depends on the context, it depends on the time. So we want to keep these relationships and these collaborations. We see this is how we can give lectures in a modern way and how we can do research in a modern way. But we see that our society, we have a societal and a moral test. There are committees, they're looking at our collaboration with the fossil fuel industry, but also our collaboration with conflicts in the war zones. Think about Gaza, the occupied areas. As a university, the society comes onto our campus, and we're trying our best to be a university in these times. In my new role as chair of the executive board, I will really be proactive outside the campus to look at these collaborations and to strengthen these relationships. That's beautiful, great. We will hear more from you later this afternoon. Thank you for now. Chair of the Executive Board, Annelien Bredenoord. During the opening of the academic year, there's always an important moment. It's an important tradition, and it's also about feeling connected. We remember the colleagues and the students who passed away in the recent year. So the strength of our society and our community, it is really clear. For the whole of the Netherlands, this became clear after the regrettable shooting incidents at Erasmus MC last year, September. We will show all the names of the students and the colleagues who passed away. And together we have a moment of silence. This is followed by a remembrance dance. Could you please, after the dancing has ended, to not give a hand of applause? Thank you. Thank you, Charlotte Hoekstra and Gray Pieternella. They're doing the all-round dancer degree at the Alberta Dance College, and the choreography was by Ingeborg van Wijzenbroek.
Om onze keynote te introduceren.
To introduce our keynote speaker, I'm switching into English.
For our first keynote speaker, our one and only keynote speaker, I should say. She is a priest at All Saints Amsterdam, a theologian, an artist, and the youngest daughter of the South African Archbishop and human rights activist Desmond Tutu and Nomalizo Leah Tutu. Today, she will guide us through the philosophy of Ubuntu, which provides people with insight into themselves and their connection with others. Please give it up for Mpho Tutu van Furt.
I invite you to consider basic assumption Ubuntu. Ubuntu is a Xhosa word. Yeah, the click language, very cool, I can do it. Meaning the essence of humanity. And my father coins the term rainbow nation as an illustration of the idea. So each color of the rainbow is uniquely beautiful. Each is delightful in its own, but a rainbow is a new and more beautiful thing than a monochrome arc across the sky. Ubuntu values the individual, yes. Ubuntu recognizes and prizes unique gifts and talents of each person, yes. And then Ubuntu says, we depend on each other. My humanity is inextricably bound up with yours. In order for me to be the best version of myself, I need you to be the best version of yourself. Ubuntu is not communist or communal in the sense that Ubuntu does not require that we dissolve into an amorphous clump of undifferentiated humanity. But what Ubuntu does require is that we be fully invested in the flourishing and well-being of the other. So rather than privileging individual rights, Ubuntu privileges mutuality, it privileges solidarity, it privileges the common good. What is good for me stands in dynamic tension with what is good for the greater we. Ubuntu values collaboration and solidarity. It values mutuality and interdependence. And the quote is from my father, a person with Ubuntu is open and available to others, affirming of others, does not feel threatened that others are able and good, for he or she has a proper self-assurance that comes from knowing that he or she or they belong in a greater whole, and is diminished when others are humiliated or diminished.
Thank you so much. Mpho Tutu van Furt. Graag.
We would like to also stand still with the departure of someone who really put an effort for the past 4 years regarding connecting partners and stakeholders on behalf of the Erasmus University. Do you already know who I'm talking about? Of course, it is Ed Brinksma. I would like to invite him and his successor, Annelien Bredenoord, on the stage. Thank you, Desiree. Dear Ed, I can remember about 3 years ago when I started as a rector at the Erasmus University. After a few rumbly years, Ed brought in peace here at the university, and I had a soft landing at the executive board with two very experienced colleagues, Ed and of course also Ellen van Schoten. In his impressive career in the Netherlands and abroad, Ed did everything. Professor, deacon, rector and vice or president of a foreign university, and it was a great way to start in the executive board, and I learned a lot from him, from you. And I would like to stand still at a few important moments and projects from Ed's last 4 years here. We will do it here at the stage, but of course after the opening ceremony at the reception, we will all tell you about it, Ed. And he'll need to listen to us then. So as no one else, Ed embodies the Erasmian values of connecting. He showed those in his efforts in unique, that's the European effort in post-industrial cities. But he also played an important role in the fusion up until the University of the Arts in Rotterdam and the culture campus as well, and with the development of our convergence, that's the cooperation with the Erasmus MC and Technical University Delft. Also in rumbling times, which we had during COVID period, for example, Ed always tried to encounter the dialogue with the participants, and also we celebrated with stakeholders, alumni, students and professors the 110 years of existence of our university, all under the under Ed's head. Now he can start his pension, and he has already got to the pension eligible age. During the reception at the end of this meeting, we will stand still with Ed's departure and what he meant for our university in the past 4 years. But I would like to thank you on behalf of the whole Erasmian community, and I will also miss you personally in the executive board. And I would also like to give the floor to you to say something yourself. Please go ahead. Thank you, dear Annelien. I'm really proud. It's a great privilege to be an administrator of the executive board in this great city and to be able to contribute entirely in the last speaker's atmosphere. You cannot do anything by yourself alone. We did everything together. And of course, I would like to focus on the cooperation with Annelien and Ellen. These were rumbling years, and I think we really upheld ourselves. But it also applies to the cooperation with the several committees and councils. The students, of course, and the alumni as well, had the privilege to encounter and do a lot of things. And also outside the university, partners, friends in the city, the country, Europe and the world. Big thanks for your efforts and collegiality and friendship. I do have a big trust in all of you and to address today's challenges, because they are there. I would have liked to disembark the ship when the sea was more calm. However, looming clouds there are coming. So Europe, as smallest continent, is not growing. America is stabilizing, the rest is growing. Our economic and political influence are going down. And with the background of climate change and ecological crises that only can be addressed globally, the political Pavlov reaction is wrong. It's being shown by withdrawing and focusing on short-term interest. Universities, as keepers of the long-term perspective, are in the wrong corner, and big cuts are looming, and that is while education, not just university education, are part of the solutions and do render best. and the universities is very, very good for society. So I do address ministers to withdraw cuts. This will have consequences, won't slow down the economy, but enforce it, being less boss in own country, more of a playboy of international movements. And I also address the Erasmus University to keep to our strategy of social positive impact, and even more trying to encounter that connecting convergence, culture and campus, LDE and the medical delta unique, and our many initiatives around entrepreneurship. Goodbye, departure. Yes, this is my departure. This is already my third departure, but it's my only departure from the Erasmus University, and I will all miss you very much. It's also a departure from the industry after 16 years of heading the board inside the Netherlands and abroad. I also became a Rotterdammer, the nicest city in the world. However, now it's time for something else with more space and more challenges, and I would like to say goodbye with a poem. If I think of what has become of me, no dishwasher, no playboy, I do not sell licorice. I sometimes encounter myself in the strangest places, in a gutter, sleeping in someone's leg, on my toes, looking into a candy shop. I thank you.
Dank jullie wel.
Thank you. I wonder how it will go after this opening ceremony. So this was the beginning of a goodbye. The Erasmus University Rotterdam actively tries to find connecting with in the city as outside. By connecting these several types of education, we can create more impact. The coming speaker will take us along. She is a member of the executive board of Albeda College. Please give her a warm welcome, Simone Frederiksz. Good afternoon, dear people. Up until the program, I was very moved by the students and the speeches, but I would like to create a bridge to a more festive moment that is today's day. And for all of us at Albeda and the Erasmus University, it was festive because this morning we had our yearly opening in the new Luxor Theatre. And it was a great honor that we had Annelien and also the minister to give a speech. Also because we do stand still with hope, and hope. These are our youngsters, the strength and promises of our youngsters, our future makers. They embody the essence of being connected and do bear the responsibility to form the world with their dreams, deeds, and hopefully also peace. It's an honor to speak to you today regarding an issue, a subject that is really the beating heart of our city. Connecting and cooperation. Rotterdam, our beautiful city, a mosaic of cultures, stories and dreams, and a culture that was built on the strength of diversity and bringing together people from all corners of the world. If I think of the Willem Ruijs, the image that you see right here, it may not invoke many remembrances. It was the flagship of the Rotterdam Lloyd from 1947 up until 1958. The connection between the Netherlands, Dutch India, and later Indonesia. It was named after Lloyd director Willem Ruys. For numerous passengers, the crossing was way more than just a journey. No, it was a journey. It was a connection between East and West, and the vessel symbolized the connecting between worlds, a bridge between past and future. And it was also like that for my father. On the Willem Ruys, as a 13-year-old boy, he embarked and moored in Rotterdam. This is my father here on the right side, and this marked a new chapter in his life. Being connected to the country where his future was. He came traumatized, as many of our the people in our country. He came here to make a new beginning, and we see in the areas that there's a great inheritance of numerous connections, and this dynamic is clearly visible in our youth. They do show diversity and carry it with pride. And also here at Campus Woudestein, this variety is reflected in creativity, innovation of our academical and social breeding grounds. And as very strong example is encountered in education. Rotterdam has a very rich landscape of educational institutions, and we have been working together with the Erasmus University from Albeda, and that is great and unique as well. Unique here in the Netherlands, but not self-obvious. And it's an honor to be able to work together where science and society not only meet each other but are really interlinked. Youth or youngsters have a wide wire of challenges, and together with Eveline Kroon and her team of Sing Club, we do conduct all kinds of research of the experiences of vocational education students, and we do aim to inequality of chances, opportunities, and resilience. And of course, we also do address the mental health of our youngsters. That is by listening to them and by looking at them, and really by talking with them. And it's essential to give the youngsters the means, support, and everything else to not only encounter the future, but also make the future and address challenges. And different example is the Beeldum Climate School together with Rutger Engels and Jeannie Servant, where students of all walks of life work together regarding durability challenges with several backgrounds. They get out of their comfort zones and to create new solutions together. And now, my beloved vocational education. The vocational education in Rotterdam is represented by institutions such as Albeda, but also by other institutions, and it plays a crucial part in enforcing the city and the region. Right now, there are nearly 500,000 vocational students here in the Netherlands, and in Rotterdam with 50,000 vocational students. We are the biggest vocational education city in the Netherlands. This type of education does meet the needs of all kinds of industries within the city, and it provides opportunities that are essential, not just for the economy, but also in being a person and being there for each other by creating bridges between practice and theory. This will promote equality and culture. It's a connection and the meeting between people, ideas, and culture that make Rotterdam this special. A connection is not just that we have access to each other, but also that we understand each other and that we value each other. Equality is more than ever not just an important ideal. It's a base for real connection. Only when we recognize that we build bridges instead of walls. More equality cannot exist without inclusivity and participation, and especially now, because right now in a world where division seems to have the upper hand, we need to use our own strength. It's up to us all to continue constructing a world where everybody feels at home, where our differences are the source of strength, where our education shows a way to a better future. So let's plea for a world where connection is not just a word, but also a way of life, where equality, participation, inclusivity go hand in hand. I would like to thank you, and we will encounter Ubuntu together.
Yeah.
And with new energy, we enter into the new block, or start the new block. It feels like a block because we really we will try our best to give a round of applause more than ever. So thank you, Lucas, for the music. It's time for the prizes, and I think we will award 4 prizes. So I would like to come up for the first prize. That's the Student Societal Impact Award. And I do request the chair of the Erasmus Just Front on the podium, Gijs van Lokeren Campagne. Welcome.
And the floor is yours.
The floor is yours. The Student Social Impact Award is given to a student or a group of students who showed leadership in initiating a project and giving a positive societal impact. The prize consists of a certificate, and a monetary amount of 4,500 euros is also made possible by the Sustainable Health Care Fund, a fund within the Erasmus Trust Fund. The winner of the Student Societal Impact Award 2024 is a student, a medicine student at the Erasmus University. Congratulations, Huize Lucas. Huize did conduct research during her master course to the carbon footprint of the Erasmus University, and she gave insights of what every department, how to further make the Erasmus MC more durable, to make it more tangible, was very inspiring to the jury. The results of the research did not lead to much enthusiasm and insight with the college of the Erasmus MC, but also create a national impact, since it does make part of the Green Deal Durable Healthcare 3.0. And with this impact, Huize wants to show it. The jury really likes the fact that she wants to invest the prize money into a new project which focuses itself into a new educational module to medicine students. So Huize, congratulations. I wish you all the best with the rest, and keep us informed. I wish you all the best. I have a question for you. What results regarding this carbon footprint surprised you the most? My research aimed at the contribution of bigger part of the carbon footprint of the hospital, and we were trying to find the biggest categories. and we were trying to find connecting points for climate strategies, and we did find few medical products, and medicine had a big impact, but their contribution to the total carbon footprint is very small, or relatively small. The factors that to power the climate or the carbon footprint are seen in all departments in the hospital, and giving more durable, sustainable healthcare is the responsibility of us all. That's great. Thank you, Huize. Please take the prize with you. So that's Huize and Gijs. Thank you. For the next prize, I will switch to English because there are also nominees with a non-Dutch background.
Sustainability Award will be presented by the Vice Chair of the Executive Board of the Erasmus University, Ellen van Schoten.
Ladies and gentlemen, each year we present the Sustainability Award to the best sustainability initiative at Erasmus University. And that can either be a new or an existing initiative from our students, from students' associations, from our alumni, from our staff, or from our startups. But let me not keep you in suspense any longer, because the winners of the Sustainability Award 2024 are two of our students from Erasmus University College with the project EU Garden. And please welcome to the stage Emma Kabil and Stephanie Essayadi. Congratulations. Let me explain to you why the jury was so enthusiastic about your project. It's a project that has a very broad support. It started out as a student initiative supported by lecturers, but was supported very soon by the Rotterdam City Council and by local entrepreneurs. The idea of creating a garden next to our EUC campus on a square in an area of Rotterdam where greenery is very scarce is, I think, very powerful. And this initiative also combines with other initiatives, likewise initiatives in other cities, where tiles are being removed to make room for plants and flowers. And thus, this initiative contributes to the climate adaptivity capacity of Rotterdam, to the well-being of its citizens, and to the diversification of animals and plants in Rotterdam. So, in short, this project is a perfect example of how students, together with lecturers, with entrepreneurs and with the City Council, can create positive societal impact. So, you mastered the art of connecting, I think, and I'm very, very proud to present to you the Sustainability Award 2024. Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you. Come to the front.
Applause hard enough for you? Yeah, I think we can do it again after the talks. Okay. So the creation of the European University College Garden involved many areas of expertise. So how did you manage to connect all these expertises?
Yeah, well, it's been really great to learn that yeah, there's so many people who are willing to collaborate if you just dare to ask. We couldn't have done it without the support of our teachers, the municipality, the business community of the area. There's just been a lot of support, and the project basically started just with the simple question of, can we change this, and who wants to get involved, and let's get started. So yeah, it's been really wonderful.
Good. It's been a very interesting process where we've both learned a lot, engaging with the various institutions involved, like Erasmus University College and Gemeente Rotterdam. And without these stakeholders and institutions, we couldn't have begun to initiate and begin to realize this project.
Great. Thank you so much. Emma, Stephanie, and Ellen, thank you.
So we will have a short break before we start with the third prize, because as I already said during my introduction, Huize Lucas is framing music during this event, and they are not here just like that, because Lucas does follow a course at the Erasmus University College and Godard through the dual degree program. Rotterdam Arts. I will just go towards you already. I was not done yet. But the Rotterdam Arts and Science Lab, also known as Erasmus. So Lucas, just come here, step here. What did we agree upon? Speak here or what? I can't really remember. So how did you experience this dual degree program, Lucas? Looking back, it was a really a vocation, but it was quite difficult. Doing two courses at the same time is really difficult, but it learns you a lot. But I really want to go and start something in music, so I attended university, and then I also applied and was called in the conservatory, and then at Godard, and I think that made everything complete. I also wanted to ask you, so how does it contribute to the music? Will it change it? So I thought about it. So, of course, you learn to play music at the course itself, but since I also went to Utrecht for a master, I don't think they have musicology right here, I also got to know society in a different way. And I think this brings perspective to art. You will play a song for us. What song is it? Meisje.
Ze kunnen vast wel meeknippen, toch? Ik wist wel dat het wel was, ik me niet overgaf aan mijn liefde op een andere manier. Ik wist niet wie de ware was, nog niet wat er pas. Ik was filosofisch verder weg dan hier. Van ons, van jou, nu wil ik meer dan hoe het vroeger was. Maar je bent met je meisje, of je bent met je vriend. En als het niet zou lijken, had je mij dan gezien. Wat in de sterren staat geschreven, stel je nog even uit. Want je bent met je meisje, met je veilig thuis. En met je veilig thuis. Ik wist wel dat ik anders was en nog niet klaar voor was. Maar een team kan zichzelf zelden zien. Zomaar daar was jij, kwam dichterbij. Maar van dit meisje was ik toen nog niet gedeeld. Van ons, van jou, nu wil ik meer dan hoe het vroeger was. Maar je bent met je meisje, of je bent met je vriend. En als ik het zou lijken, had je mij dan gezien. Wat in de sterren staat geschreven, stel jij nog even uit. Want je bent met je meisje, en ben je veilig thuis. Nu gaat met mij, zoals het toen had moeten zijn. En nu ben ik je meisje, nu ben ik je vriend. Als alles is wat zijn moet, dan heb ik je verdiend. Want in de sterren staat het geschreven, en eindelijk komt het uit. Nu ben ik je meisje, nu ben ik je vriend. Als alles is wat zijn moet, dan heb ik je verdiend. Want in de sterren staat het geschreven, en eindelijk komt het uit. En wordt er weinig thuis. En brengt er veilig thuis.
Thank you. So it's time for prize number 3. That's the education prize. It is going to be awarded by the Dean of the Erasmus School of Social and Behavioral Sciences, Victor Beckers. So Victor, you were on the other side of the room. Thank you. I will give the floor to you. The education prize is annually awarded to a member of the scientific staff or a education team that gave an extraordinary contribution to the education here within the Erasmus University. The education prize is also made possible by the Erasmus Trust Fund and is won by Assistant Professor Pieter Tuytens and Associate Professor Peter Marks, connected to the Department of Business Administration and Sociology of the Erasmus School of Social and Behavioral Sciences. Dear Peter and Peter, you gave lectures an extra dimension by moving from a traditional lecture to a new form with a variety of means such as video clips, quizzes and games that are being used during lectures, flipping the classroom. And this is the way you did name and you know how to activate a big and heterogeneous group within the Erasmus School of Social and Behavioral Sciences, but also to improve study results and the satisfaction of students. This effort or this approach was developed with the support of CLI, a Community of Learning and Innovation. It's a great example of how learning is filled out within the university to aim towards the future and to provide inspiring education to students. The way in which you also try to find a collaboration with the department Erasmus Digitalization and Information Services to deploy a better way of learning analytics and this way university education can be improved in a faster and efficient way, and this is what the jury really liked. I'm really proud of you and I would like to congratulate you with this award. Before I will ask you a question, I do wonder where the professors and teachers are here. Please show you a round of hands because the answer is aimed towards you. So what tips do you have for teaching colleagues who also would like to apply flipping the classroom? Flipping the classroom is a great method it's important to imagine what the goals are. So do take all your time what your objectives are and how learning analytics can be used to learn more and to use it. And also there are certain learning objectives. If you want to get to those, then you need to understand why you want to use the technique, and you also need support from the institution, because we as teachers always start way too late. You need to start 6 months in advance, otherwise you won't get there. So thank you very much, and also thank you for awarding the prize to Peter, Peter and Victor. Now it's time for the final prize. I hope you can still give us a round of applause. The award of the Rotterdam Thesis Prize will be done by the Alderman of Rotterdam. He's responsible for well-being, competition, sport and digital inclusion. He's also an alumnus of the Erasmus University. So maybe it does feel like coming home. Fauzi Akbar. It does really feel like coming home. So I always come back here. So I would like to use the opportunity. So Annelien, congratulate you with your new role, and also Ed, I will say goodbye to you. I really appreciated you. You're a great person. So do enjoy your retirement. So good afternoon, dear people. I have the honor to award the Rotterdam Thesis Prize, and this is the strong connection between the municipality and the university. The winning thesis got 8 out of 10 at least. The subject is relevant for the city, and of course the result needs to be applicable. The winner will receive a check of 1,500 euros, a piece of art, and also a certificate. The winner of the Rotterdam Thesis Prize 2024 is Arthur de Jager. Congratulations. Arthur did do a thesis in a master with urban issues and policy. Back in my day, it was simply the faculty of sociology. The thesis treats important themes, showing a digital replica of Rotterdam and its environment. The jury appreciates the way you describe the smart city initiatives. This structure is really can be used, and it's a very strong thesis, but also the critical evaluation regarding the redevelopment of Slootboomplein in Rotterdam Zuid was appreciated by many. There were strong obstacles that are relevant policy-wise. We know more about the potential and the restrictions of urban digital twins to involve Rotterdammers here. Arthur, you're the winner of the Rotterdam Thesis Prize 2024. Congratulations. You are no longer a student, but it was also your first day at work, right? That's correct. It's also like coming home, because I had my first day here at the Erasmus University at the Bold Cities, and also my thesis was connected to that. So what is we're trying to do research into urban issues, but also the risks that are connected to that. And policymakers, but also citizens are put central. and the Erasmus University as well that is crucial for this type of research. So it's a great honor to receive this prize, but it's also a sign from the municipality that the research is very valuable and important for the city. Thank you and congratulations with your working life. So thank you, Bouty and Arthur.
Balanceren en laveren.
Balancing between all kinds of different interests and being a connecting factor, these are the crucial duties of a Minister of Education, Culture and Science. He takes us on his, he gives us his vision on how he sees his position. Dutch Minister of Education, Mr. Eppo Bruins. Good afternoon. It's good to be here today. So we started again after the summer holidays. This morning I was at the Albeda Vocational Education and I went to the Rotterdam University of Applied Sciences and now I'm here. It's a new academic year. There's a lot to do, a lot to discover. For many young people, a university degree is also a quest. They're looking for a meaning, a meaningful role for themselves. Now, during their degree program and later in society. What can they add? Who's waiting for them? There's a business answer to this, a very business-like answer, because the labor market here in Rotterdam is screaming for staff in healthcare, in technology, in education, in the port of Rotterdam, everywhere. They're looking for excellent employees. But a student is so much more than a future employee. A degree program is so much more than a promise of a good qualification and a good job in the future. Education, what it gives them, it shapes you as a person and it shapes society as a whole. And this is something we need to know. We enter a new era. We need to deal with the planet in a different way, with the raw materials, and also with each other. We need to deal with each other differently. So the theme of this afternoon, the topic of the art of connection, I would like to mention that there's the ability, your education, to bring people closer together. So today, exactly, it's 2 months that I've been a Minister of Education, Culture and Science. So for me, a lot of things are new, the way I'm standing here today. The political season is starting this week. With the budget day, third Tuesday in September, the plans of this cabinet will become clearer and more detailed. But yes, there will be cutbacks. Also in the areas of education, culture and science. And if you're worried, then I understand that very well. I also noticed some surprise around myself when it became clear that I became the Minister of Education in this cabinet. And people who know me really well, people who I care about, they were surprised. My entire career, the last 3 decades, were about education and science, about technology and the importance of knowledge and skills. How can you balance this with the cabinet plans that are in place? To me, dear people, education, it is the foundation of society and it is the engine of the economy. And the direction that our country is taking, it depends on the current generation of students and the education that they are getting. So if you want to see a trailer of society of the future, then you should look now in practice, in the labs, in the lecture halls. To me, to see this generation, it gives me hope. At the same time, there are sounds in the society that are sounds of concern, that we are destroying maybe the foundations of education, and people are saying they don't have any connection with culture and they don't think it's important, or they say that science is just an opinion. Let me be clear. I think these noises in society are worrying and dangerous. Let me be the Minister of Education. Together with you, we stand for the facts. So I put my heart and soul into it, and I fight for the right cause. It's irreplaceable, the value of education and science. And to be careful and cautious, and to do it in a systematic way. And research gives new knowledge to society. And yes, this battle, we need to fight it in a time when we don't have ample financial budgets. There's an also development that also will have even more impact than the cutbacks. Ed Brinksma was also mentioning it, which is the shrinking number of demographics. Basically, there are fewer children, so there are fewer students, so it's a demographic trend. And we are used to incorporating more and more students, offering more and more degree programs, building more buildings, having more students in larger lecture halls, but this growth, it seems to be coming to an end because we have a demographic change in the Netherlands. In Europe, people of my generation, they can get a bit upset. And actually the current economic model, they also get a bit upset. How do you deal with a future without growth? What does it look like? But I noticed that the young people, so today's generation, the students who are studying now, they're really more flexible and they can cope with this better. Growth is not all that they want. They feel the need they want the need for a new balance. So fewer students, lower student numbers. It's threatening for some schools and educational institutions in certain regions because young people, they cannot maybe go to the degree program of their dreams. So we have to look at the long term. The educational system needs to be strong and it needs to be resilient, also when there's a demographic shrinkage. So smart thinkers and handy doers, they can also continue to flourish in all the regions. So the flourishing is one promise of good education to society, but there's another promise, and it goes even deeper. Education, par excellence, it is the place where people can practice in freedom and can live together and collaborate. This is super important in these times when we seem to be tougher, more aggressive, and to be more polarized. It is very important that in your education you can work together. So they don't just attack your opinion, but they seem to attack the person behind you. I'm ashamed, and the politicians are not giving the right example.
However, it makes my dream more important because it will be the place where we can encounter each other. Words won't divide us or separate us, but connect us. And this cabinet expressed explicitly that they will protect the rule of law, and the academic freedom is an important part. So we need to be very careful of that, and also this does require a continuous maintenance, because this freedom is no longer natural but is under big pressure. There are students who are afraid to express themselves. There are teachers who need to go towards and around difficult and sensitive issues, and there are also people who say they want to protect this freedom but do suggest measures that only restrict other other people's freedoms. It was Desiderius Erasmus who taught us that freedom begins by giving freedom to others, and yes, at universities, people could practice how to handle these freedoms. Much is at stake, and there's much to lose as well. And if even in education we can no longer solve problems with words, then where can we? Therefore, it's important that we think big, think large regarding education. It's way more than just transferring knowledge. It's way more than just a ticket to the labor market. In the classroom, in the lecture rooms, people do learn skills for the future. They will be competent employees, but also they will be resilient citizens who do trust one another, who can have big differences of opinions, but can also embrace each other. Good education brings you all the rights, shows that you are appreciated and that society is waiting for you to see what you can add. And what bigger order do we have also for the business and the public sector if talent is being lost? For example, if vocational students, because of their name or background, cannot get an internship and are being excluded to the labor market. What a waste. We cannot have this happening in this country. Dear people, I'm happy to be here in Rotterdam with the vocational education, but also with the scientific education. There are big ruptures between societies, but in here we do give an example of connecting. In this city of thinkers and doers, we know that we can only do things together, hand in hand. Education, politics and the labor market is interdependent, and the same goes for vocational and scientific education. Beta and technology will help us, will make us, bring us progress, but only if we take into account the social and societal impacts. I was the first in my family who attended university. It was my vocation, apparently. But I hope that we can see more and more youngsters with much pride who will say, I was the first in my family going to vocational education. That is where my vocation is. We already see it happening. More and more people for professional education choose to learn a profession. And this brings me hope. I would like to talk about strength, and I also hope that for scientific education student will become much more common, that even those students go to professional education if necessary, so that this all becomes a reality in our lives and our hearts. If there's anything concluding what youngsters can contribute to the society of the future, then it's their quest for quality instead of quantity. And I would like to learn from them as well, together, working with them together to a hopeful future where everybody can be themselves and feels that they want to contribute. I wish that we all could be the best learning school, because also this new academic year will become a fascinating quest. Thank you all.
Thank you for your good speech. You feel the question already that's coming. How can you balance the cutbacks, the financial cutbacks, with the promises in your investment in education and research? You thought I would start with an easy question? Yeah, it's the most essential question. Do you know? Well, when you have a coalition agreement, you see some beautiful things. You see also some things that are not as good. I didn't make it into a secret that the cutbacks in education and science, I think they're ugly. They're not beautiful. But at the same time, this cabinet has opted, for example, to have the people who are the poorest in society, to give them more money, to give more money for people who need it more. So they made their choices. I read it in May, and I had the choice to step forward and to say, I will take this challenge, or I had to lean back and think, no, I'm not getting involved, but I am facing the challenge. So we have a financial budget cuts. I think it's important that someone who knows the education sector and knows how valuable and important education, culture, and science is, and how it can be possible, even despite the cutbacks, to keep it in place. I want to work on this together with the Parliament, the Dutch Parliament. I will be working for this. I don't think I will be the most popular education minister, but I hope that you can give me some mercy and look back. He did his best. You're already getting a big hand of applause. It's a good answer. To make it more concrete, so how about the starter grants, the encouragement, research funds, the sector plans? Yes, well, I cannot leak this information. You have to wait until budget day. At the same time, in the last few weeks, I've had really intense conversations with the sector, with UNL, with VHN, so all the other organizations, to talk about what is hurting and what is really hurting badly. So these conversations, they move me, they touch me. There's a good tower. I'm looking at the tower, and already saw a video on one by one the blocks are being pulled out, and the bricks, it's threatening. Yeah, we'll show you the video later. So if you pull out the bricks, I've already seen the video, the tower will collapse. I don't want to be the Minister of Education that pulls out the last block. Together with the organizations, within the financial conditions that they're, how can we, I have to stick to them. How can we keep what's valuable and keep it in place? How can we protect what we value? I listen to them and I'm talking to them. It's not fixed, it's not set in stone. So this week we're having conversations, but you must know, I'm fighting for the education sector to give a soft landing as possible. And on budget day, I hope to be able to show you, and then it's up to you to judge it. Maybe there's going to be a good surprise. I cannot tell you anything. I'm curious. So we're here on the university stage. Are you going to fight for the university? Yes, I will fight for the university and for the vocational education and for culture and for media. All my subjects in my ministry, I'm going to fight for it because there are different measures, and it's not clear how to design them and develop them and how to implement them. So there are various measures, and it's not beautiful, it's ugly. So together with the sector, I want to talk to you and see how we can do it in a wise way. We have the financial constraints, I have to stick to that. But as the cabinet is learning and developing, it becomes clear that together you try to make the best of it. And I think this cabinet has also got a warm heart for education, culture and science. So I will be the voice within the Dutch government that will be loud, and I will advocate this clearly. It will not be, you will try your best. Eppo, Bruins, Dutch Minister of Education, Culture and Science.
Het gordijn, jij ligt naast me. Een ander gezicht, dat is het vreemde van de tijd. Het loopt zoals het moet. Al is het bitterzoet. Ik verloor mijn hart in Rotterdam, waar alles anders gaat dan wat ik had verwacht. Had nooit gedacht dat ik kon voelen wat ik voel. Toen vervang me de onrustige kalmte. Ja, ik verloor mijn hart in Rotterdam, Rotterdam, in Rotterdam. De avond
spreken zij ook in Siciliaan. Thank you. Now we're going to watch the video that we talked about with the Dutch Minister of Education, Eppo Bruins. So the coalition agreement, I would like to repeat it, that the new Dutch cabinet is really intending to do major cutbacks to education. I hope that we can have a positive surprise on budget day at the end of September. But based on the plans, the 14 universities of the Netherlands have made a joint video message for the government. Let's have a look. Our universities are helping the Netherlands to move forward. But if the Dutch government is doing the financial cutbacks, then we can lose all of this. There's a lot at stake. Innovation, clean nature, new medication, saving lives, food security, certainty of future with clean drinking water, the best education, economic growth, and jobs that keep our region strong. So the cutbacks that the Dutch government intends, it can really endanger the future and progress of the Netherlands. And what we build together, it might collapse, it might be destroyed. Don't let it happen. Stop the financial cutbacks to our universities in science. Our universities are helping the Netherlands forward. With the words of the universities of the Netherlands and Minister Eppo Bruins at the back of our minds, I would like to give the floor to the chair of the executive board, Annelien Bredenoord. The time between dropping my son off at school and the moment when I start here at the Erasmus campus with my day at work, I often spend on my bicycle. I'm cycling along the River Maas, and I have about 20 minutes to go from one place, my home, to another place, my campus here. But in these 20 minutes, there's also a figurative transition. Maybe you recognize it. So the time at the beginning and at the end of your day, when you walk, cycle, or in public transport or in the car, it has a role. It is like a space in between. You use this space twice a day to make connections between you as the person you are at home and the person who you are when you're with your colleagues or your fellow students. Even if you're always, of course, the same person, one setting requires other skills and other sides of you than another setting. This time is super important to prepare mentally for the day or to process what you've just been through or what you've learned. So sometimes this gives you a moment of rest and reflection to find solutions for problems or to have new insights. During COVID, when working full-time was the standard, the lack of this travel time, this commuting time, was a reason for many people that the boundaries became blurred between work and private life. So the space to create these connections, it's also happening at a bigger scale. It's called liminal times. The term comes from the Latin word limen, which means threshold. So what was is over, and the new has not started yet, between ebb and flood, right there in the surf. In the space in between, we are like this at a university too, in the meanwhile, maybe even as a society. Liminal times offer hope and perspective, disruption, connection, but also fear and uncertainty. The time when we as a university was relatively separate and disconnected from society, those times are over. And especially when you know our history, we were always deeply rooted in the city of Rotterdam, because the trade and the port of Rotterdam, they were looking for really well-trained staff. So 110 years ago, our legal entity predecessor was founded. It was a Dutch trade school, business school. So we know that we want to be relevant as a university, and we understand, and we want to offer solutions for major societal issues. In recent times, as a university, we have really achieved a lot, and we found ways to have our knowledge be applied in society and to prepare our students to what the society is demanding from graduates, but it's still also trial and error and searching. So we are in a transition period. In this transition period, this liminal time, we are aware that the complex challenges of our society, we cannot solve them on our own. So our schools and services work in all kinds of roles and positions, and the connections between various disciplines are becoming stronger, and that's what we want. So connecting successfully the expertise also has a practical side. Last year, a committee guided by Professor Harriet Schelhaas, she was asked by the executive board to work on a smarter academic year. So based on her advice, we will look at the annual timetables. For the first time, we match them between the schools and we make them shorter. So there's more rest and free time for staff and students, and there are more opportunities to work together outside the boundaries of your own field and outside the boundaries of your own degree program. It is a wish that we've had for a long time to make the connections between the schools stronger. So exchanges between various schools are not going to fail, not in the practical sense. Before, there were 29 different annual timetables at our university in the past. Also outside our university, we're working together with all kinds of partners, with other universities in the Netherlands and outside, and non-university education institutions. You just listened to Simone Frederiksz, Executive Board of Albeda. She's the largest vocational education institute in Rotterdam. This morning I was speaking at their year opening, and the whole theater was full of lecturers and staff and students, and it was about pride and being proud. What does it mean for you, for society? And I'm also proud of our partnership with Albeda. It's from intensive collaboration between our Professor Evelien Krone in the area of the young people's brain and inequality of opportunity, to the talented dancers that we saw at the beginning of our ceremony. It was an impressive tribute to the students and employees of Erasmus University who passed away over the last 12 months. And like Mrs. Tutu, she already mentioned in her inspiring keynote, it is essential that we as a human being, but also as a university, we are connected to others, and that we strive our best to make the most out of each other, to get the best out of each other. As a university, we'll go into the city more often, not just to study it as an objective for research, but actually to involve the citizens of Rotterdam into our activities. What are we doing? Education, research, and events. A good example is the project Erasmus Connects. This is a university-wide student initiative, and in recent years it's made big steps towards connecting science and society in Rotterdam. Our students were given the opportunity to make a proactive contribution to solving important and complex societal issues that are waiting for us. So they made 3 seasons of the podcast City Walks, and while walking through Rotterdam, current topics were discussed. It's really something I recommend. You can find it on Spotify, these podcasts. And I myself, because we had the anniversary year, 110 years, I was wearing my robe. I could see my elastic bands. I was on my bicycle together with 45 colleagues to primary schools to talk about the university and my field, its medical ethics. And we didn't meet the professor. We reached 1,500 pupils at primary school, and they found out more about science. It was the first edition, and I hope that this area on this side, professors, please all join in next year. It was really fun and good to do. Dear people, many speakers have said it before me, there's a lot at stake, there's a lot to lose. As Dutch universities, we're doing well, but this foundation is very weak and fragile. Dark times are threatening for universities and knowledge institutes. We will finally know on budget day at the end of September, but there are plans to want to save more than $1 billion on research and education. This, combined with the effects with the negative political attitude towards internationalization, are really dark clouds. I don't know how dark they're going to be in the end and how much thunderstorm we can expect. It is not clear yet. Not just as Erasmus University, we can be proud of what we stand for, but also as the Netherlands. We need to be more aware and conscious of the scientific qualities and the excellent position that we have in the international academic landscape. Our country belongs to the top, the global top. There was a research study by Rotterdam Institute. It was published last month. The title is Balance of Science. It shows that the Netherlands globally is the 4th country when it comes to the number of citations in research, taken across the band of all the topics and research topics. Yes, there are many ways to measure the impact of research, but this is one of them. Also, the number of applied for and awarded patents in the Netherlands is relatively high internationally. The value of a strong building, the continuity in academic Netherlands, is not only seen by ourselves. It is not we of our brand think we are great. So, for example, this morning there was a study published. 69% is more than 2/3 of the electorate. They are against cutbacks of science in science. So this seems a clear message to me, to our government and to the politicians and the elected representatives. This tower of these blocks, this tower that you saw in the video, right now, it's also on the stage of all the other Dutch universities. When they open their academic year, they make it clear, they show it. Together we're building something large. Think back to my metaphor of the cathedral. You've listened to me talking about this on the birthday of the university last year as a good ancestor. You think about generations to come. Everyone contributes literally their brick. One by doing scientific research, the other by doing great teaching, and it can be applied or it can be fundamental. And also others are enabling it to make sure that people can do it. So the chances are that we will never see the final result, maybe only just the interim stages, because it's about developing, being proven wrong, experimenting, improving, modernizing. So this building, it requires strength and a strong foundation. It needs to be future-proof. So you can keep building and building, but if others are taking bricks out or putting bricks in an illogical place, then it might collapse. And you have to build it all over again. The previous government, they gave extra money to do overdue maintenance in education and science, but it wasn't extra money actually that we could spend freely. It was only money that was actually overdue, and the money was we were only able to spend it on very specific cases that were agreed beforehand. So as a university, we were not free. It was very welcome financial support, of course. We couldn't do what we thought was necessary ourselves. So the foundation became more and more vulnerable. All the holes and gaps in the foundations could not all be filled. One of the large projects that money was made available for is the sector plan of SSH grade. SSH stands for Social Sciences and Humanities. In this plan, we put together as the Erasmus University, we joined the forces of all our disciplines of the social and humanities, social sciences, humanities, including economics, business studies, law, philosophy, and others. And it's the goal to find solutions for large societal topic. So the impact of digitalization on work, wealth and entrepreneurship, both in the Netherlands and outside internationally. There's a lot of demand for knowledge institutes with expertise in this field. So we have a multi-year plan, and it's super important for talent development in academia. We want to give them permanent contracts. We want to give them certainty, our researchers and our young people. So SSH-wide is really intended to let scientists and other employees to let them work together. So at Erasmus University, it means that at least no less than 6 schools are working closely together in this sector plan, also together with other universities and other organizations. So it's also a collaboration within education. So the students are already experiencing at an early stage that some problems, you cannot solve them within one scientific discipline. As the Dutch Minister of Education said, there will be cutbacks, but we don't know where and we don't know how. So we don't know for sure whether this sector plan is still in place, or will the starter funds and the other grants be still there, or will they all be cut? It would be a disaster, especially for our talented 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds, the promising researchers and the promising staff. So permanent to not give them permanent contracts, to not continue to fund their research. So you really hit them hard. It is the biggest talents that suffer, and it's a future for all of us. And this is what we call penny wise and pound foolish. When you have these cutbacks that you announce and you combine it with the law on internalization imbalance, then when you look at this tower of science, it is very dangerous and it's swaying and it's about to collapse. Dutch economy will benefit if we welcome smart people in our country, because the positive impact that we want to make in the region and far outside, you cannot do it without international knowledge, without international students, and without international academics from other countries. Recent research of the faculty of Erasmus School of History, Culture and Communication and the University of Tilburg shows Dutch students, specifically the Dutch students without the international experience, they get the most out of an international study environment, so an international classroom. They really benefit. At the beginning of the year, they were not so broad-minded and they were not so socially full of initiative compared to the international students, or Dutch students who lived abroad. But because of the international environment that they operated in, the differences became smaller. They really benefited. The Dutch students really benefited, and they really benefit from a multicultural study environment. So to discourage internationalization, it will really affect our competitive advantage in the Netherlands, and it's already shown in Europe. Denmark, last year, after 2 years, they turned back the policy to refuse international students. The reason why? There was a large shortage of highly educated, highly trained labor employees in crucial sectors. So the number of English language programs, actually, they are growing them and extending them. We must and should learn from this as a country. In the countries around us, there is damage. Yes, we're also relatively small. We're also an open country. If we continue like this, by discouraging international students and international staff, we will need to get the knowledge from abroad. So rather than exporting them, then we have to import the necessary expertise. And I think it is clear that if, as the Netherlands, we want to prevent that, we don't want to be rely on the EU, US or India, Russia, China. Also geopolitical, it's not what you want, to be dependent on their innovation power and academic knowledge. So the bill for the Netherlands will be more expensive, and society will have to pay more in the end. So in this liminal time, in this transition period, there's something crystal clear: the importance of education and science in the Netherlands. We need to teach our children, train our children to be innovative and to have a good competitive advantage, and to address the wicked problems, and to really keep the Dutch economy going. We're really looking for solutions to achieve these ambitions together. So we value the art of connecting, and it's very clearly shown on our campus. Earlier today, there was a really colorful painting on a wall, a mural. It's called Hookups by visual artist Marije Vermeulen, and it's about connecting. And it's a symbol of the devotion and dedication of the Erasmus University Rotterdam to embrace the art of connecting, because we have interdisciplinary collaboration and we have societal involvement. I really like it that on this campus we have a visual reminder that in the end, together, we're all connected, and that every day, day in, day out, we need to do our best to continue, for it to continue to be like this. We try to be connected. Don't forget, connect to yourself, connect to each other, connect to others, with people who are on the same wavelength as we are, but also people who have a completely different vision for the future, the Netherlands, academia, and how it should all be designed and developed. Minister Bruins and I, together with the others, we will officially open the academic year 2024-2025, and we're doing this together, and there is a reason for it. It's an invitation also to the new Dutch government to really look together at the future of science and academia and teaching and education in the Netherlands. As it's clear, I'm really worried about the future of science, especially in this crucial time, this transition period. In the meanwhile, So this is my call. Please, let's connect and not demolish. Let's connect and not destroy. I trust that we will not let it get this far, that the tower will collapse. Thank you.
Dankjewel.
Thank you, Annelien, for your speech. It's time for the official opening, the official moment to sound the gong. It is the last time that you do it as a rector. I'll bang it as loud as I can, and we will have a beautiful sound coming from it. We're not doing it alone. No. Can I please invite everyone who was already on the stage and who played a role during the program? Simone, Mrs. Tutu, Minister Eppo Bruins, Alderman Huize Lucas, the other presenters and winners of all the awards, the award winners. You can leave your certificate behind, but please come on to the stage. And we'll sound the gong. Oh, it's here already. Look at that. You please come to this side. You keep walking. So the award winners. It's not that loud. Don't worry, don't be afraid. So everybody who was taking part today, are you ready for a gong? Yes. Annelien, the moment is here. And it's your honor, together with the Minister of Education, to open the academic year 2024-25 and to officially open the academic year. Thank you. Huize Lucas. We've nearly come to the end of the opening ceremony. Thank you to all the speakers and presenters. Thank you for being here today, and thank you for being here online at the live stream. Connecting is essential to come to solutions for large, major societal problems. We learned that today. It's for today and tomorrow. It requires efforts, openness, and the preparedness to learn from each other. It's an art that requires constant practice. Continue to learn, continue to practice, and continue to connect. Annelien was already mentioned, the visual artist. You can have a look at her work. It's called Hookups at the E building. A building not called E. And you can have a look at the work of art in this building and also across the road. And please let me end with thanking you for being here.